Daniel is the key that unlocks revelation like you've never seen it before. This is truly awesome, so please listen closely to this whole presentation. Daniel 7:25 says the little horn would war against God's people for a time and times and the dividing of time. To learn how the papacy fulfills his prophecy, you first need to understand how prophetic time is calculated. There are 5 points you need to know. Point number 1. The phrase time refers to a period of 1 year unless otherwise specified in the prophecy, such as you see in Daniel chapter 4 and verse 16. Number 2, the phrase times, which is plural, equals 2 years. Number 3, the phrase dividing of time represents a year divided in half, or half a year. By adding 1 year plus 2 years plus half a year, you get 3½ years. In other words, the little horn made war against God's people for 3½ years. But the key to understanding prophetic time is found in knowing how many days are contained in the months and years of the prophecy. Point number 4. In Daniel's day, the biblical month had 30 days and the biblical year had 360 days. By multiplying 360 days by 3½ years, we learn there are 1,260 days in 3½ years. You can also calculate this time period by months. There are 36 months in 3 years and 6 months in half a year. This equals 42 months. Now multiply 42 months by 30 days per month, and you get 1,260 days. Now there's only one more step to go. Point number 5. In Numbers 14:34, we learn that God uses the day for a year principle. This means each prophetic day becomes 1 literal year. Therefore, 1,260 days becomes 1,260 years. So Daniel 7:25 is really saying the little horn made war against God's people for 1,260 years. Our earlier videos reveal the Roman Catholic papacy came to power in 538 AD after the Ostrogoths were ousted from Italy. Adding 1,260 years to 538 AD brings you to the year 1798. In that year, Napoleon's General Berthier marched into Rome, took the Pope prisoner, and proclaimed the political rule of the papacy at an end. The Pope later died in exile. Thus, the papacy ruled from 538 to 1798, exactly 1,260 years, as predicted in the Holy Bible. During this time known as the Dark Ages, historians report the Catholic Church was responsible for the deaths of millions of people. This deadly wound, which the papacy received in 1798, put an end to its political rule, along with its persecution against God's people. Now here's how Daniel unlocks revelation. This time period of 1,260 years is mentioned twice in Daniel and 5 times in the book of Revelation. In the King James Bible, they appear as the following phrases: time and times and the dividing of time, which is 3½ years, or as 42 months, which is also 3½ years, or as 1,260 days. By the way, a score equals 20, so 3 score equals 60. This is 1,260 days. All 3 of these time periods are the same. Whenever you see one of these 3 phrases in Daniel or Revelation, you can know God is speaking about the little horn power, the Roman Catholic papacy, who made war with God's people for 1,260 years. In this way, Daniel clearly unlocks revelation by identifying who God is speaking about in each of these verses. You can find these verses in Daniel 7:25 and 12:7. In Revelation, they are in Revelation 11:2, 11:3, 12:6, 12:14, and chapter 13, verse 5. Study these chapters with this information in mind, and your understanding of Revelation will come alive with a desire to learn more. If this information is not clear, please pray and ask God to help you understand it, because it's very important for you to have the correct understanding of Revelation. After all, the book is titled The Revelation of Jesus Christ. Study this information until you understand it well enough to explain it to someone else. Email us and request the PDF study guide for this video. Finally, go back and watch all videos from number 7 to number 13 again. Understanding these 7 videos will give you a solid foundation to understand the prophetic topics in our future programs.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus.